5,000 Humvees and counting. How Ukraine turned a US military icon into a Swiss Army knife for war. By the time I joined the US Army Infantry in 1997, I had seen the now iconic Humvee on TV and in the news, mostly from watching the first Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm in 1991. But when I first sat in one, I was shocked by its Spartan interior. When the United States designed the high mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle, or Humvee, in the 1980s, it was meant to be a durable, adaptable workhorse for moving troops, supplies, and light weapons across rough terrain. I would later drive one around the Iraqi desert as QRF, Quick Reactionary Force, and I may or may not have chased around big lizards in the desert with my Humvee, oblivious to the fact that there were still landmines lying around left over from the Gulf War. Hey friends, Wes here, and they don't exactly seek out the smartest of us for the infantry. Fast forward to 2024 and Ukraine has taken that adaptability to a whole new level, with about 5,000 Humvees in service, donated primarily by NATO allies. Ukraine has transformed this Cold War icon into a do-it-all combat platform. Some roll into battle outfitted with rocket launchers and air defense systems, others act as mobile anti-tank units, electronic warfare platforms, or even ambulances. Where the US military mainly uses Humvees for transport and reconnaissance, Ukraine has taken the modifications to the next level and weaponized them into a battlefield necessity. While Russia clings to its aging, maintenance-prone Soviet-era hardware, Ukraine has taken a 40-year-old American truck and turned it into a 21st century war machine. The Humvee in Ukraine is no simple utility vehicle. It has evolved into a combat-tested, multi-role weapons platform. With limited access to heavy armor, Ukraine has maximized its battlefield effectiveness by modifying the Humvee into every role imaginable, from rocket artillery carriers to air defense launchers to mine-clearing units. So let's break down just how many ways Ukraine has repurposed this military classic. First, soft recoil artillery Humvees. During the AUSA 2024 Defense Exhibition on October 15th, AM General confirmed that its Humvee 2CT Hawkeye 105mm mobile howitzer has been combat proven by the Ukrainian military. That's right, this lightweight self-propelled artillery system isn't just a concept. It's been tested in the crucible of real battlefield conditions against the Russians and has delivered results. The first visual proof of the 2C2 Hawkeye in Ukrainian service surfaced on September 13th when a photo shared by a community on Telegram showed the mobile howitzer in action. While the exact date and location weren't disclosed, analysts believe the image was taken in the spring, further confirming Ukraine's knack for adapting and integrating cutting-edge Western technology into its war effort. Developed in partnership with the Mandis Group, it leverages patented soft recoil technology, which significantly reduces the shock of firing artillery, allowing it to be mounted on a highly mobile platform like a Humvee without sacrificing accuracy. In battlefield terms, this means the Hawkeye can engage a target, fire off 2 rounds, and relocate in under 3 minutes, crucial for avoiding counter-battery fire in a war where speed equals survival. At its core, the system is built on the M1152A1 Humvee chassis, a beefed-up variant designed for heavier payloads. With further testing underway in Eastern Europe, the Humvee 2C2 Hawkeye is attracting serious attention, and for good reason. But one thing is clear, the Hawkeye isn't just proving itself, it's redefining what mobile artillery can do on a Humvee. Okay, the next iteration for Ukraine's Humvees, mobile rocket artillery and MLRS platforms. Ukraine has mounted 122mm Soviet-era Grad launchers on its Humvees, creating a fast-moving hit-and-run MLRS system. The Russians, who seem to enjoy parking their artillery in predictable positions, now have to worry about rockets appearing from nowhere and then vanishing into the forest. Other systems mounted on Humvees include the Sivalka VM5 and the VM8 MLRS. These use repurposed unguided aerial rockets as ground-based artillery. There's also the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, or APKWS, we've talked about in this channel before. It's a guided rocket system that converts 70mm Hydra 70 rockets into precision munitions, turning the Humvee into a lightweight precision strike vehicle. Then there's the TOW missile launchers variant. US supplied BGM-71 TOW anti-tank missile launchers mounted on Humvees give Ukraine the ability to hunt Russian armor with mobility and speed. Then there's air defense. Ukraine's mobile SAM systems bolted onto Humvees. Russia loves using cheap drones and cruise missiles to attack Ukrainian cities and frontline positions. The problem? Well, air defense systems are expensive, slow-moving, and require coordination. The solution? Mount them on a Humvee. Ukraine has adapted several air defense systems for Humvee deployment, including an AN/TWQ-1 Avenger, a Stinger missile system mounted on a Humvee the US has been using for quite a while. This has an infrared tracking module designed to quickly engage drones, helicopters, and low-flying aircraft. This platform allows Ukrainian forces to move air defense units where they're needed most. They also have a dual-mount Stinger, or a DMS, a twin Stinger launcher mounted on a Humvee, allowing quick response air defense against Russian UAVs and helicopters. Then there's the Vampire system that we've also talked about on this channel. This US-designed vehicle-mounted counter-drone system turns Humvees into highly mobile drone killers. For a country constantly under aerial bombardment, these modifications mean air defense can now move at 70 miles an hour instead of being locked into fixed positions. Then there's the electronic warfare and drone jamming Humvees. One of the most interesting Ukrainian adaptations of the Humvee is its use as a mobile electronic warfare platform. A recently surfaced video shows a 4-door Humvee covered in a coat cage with a cluster of roof-mounted antennas. This setup suggests a drone jamming or communications intercept system designed to disrupt enemy radar, GPS, and even satellite communications. With Russia relying heavily on Iranian Shahed drones, these mobile EW platforms may be key to neutralizing their effectiveness. While it's unclear whether these units are fully operational, the fact that Ukraine is developing vehicle-based electronic warfare shows how rapidly it's adapting to modern threats. Ukraine's Humvees aren't just for firing weapons, they're also used for clearing mines. Pearson Engineering Spark mine rollers attached to the front of Humvees. These rollers detonate anti-tank mines while keeping the vehicle intact. Ukraine's own custom mine rollers, developed in 2023, these Ukrainian engineered mine clearing systems consist of 6 80-kilogram or 175-pound rubber-coated rollers that can withstand multiple detonations. This has proven crucial in demining liberated areas and making sure Russian minefields don't slow Ukrainian advances. Then there's the armored battlefield ambulances. Now, in the US Army, we had mobile ambulances based on the Humvee chassis, but Ukraine's forces have also converted Humvees into battlefield medevac vehicles, since Russian forces delight in targeting actual ambulances. They have the M1152 Burtech ambulance module. These stretcher-equipped armored Humvees provide quick response medical evacuations under fire. They also have custom field conversions. When official ambulance variants ran low, Ukrainian forces simply converted standard Humvees by adding armor plating and medical equipment. This ensures wounded soldiers can get treated faster and have a better chance of survival. Then there's the dedicated tank hunters. Ukraine's military continues to innovate on the battlefield by mounting its domestically produced Stugna-P anti-tank missile system onto US-supplied Humvees. The result? Well, the highly mobile, hard-hitting platform capable of striking Russian forces with precision. Now, Defense Express analysts suggest the system may incorporate the Amulet launch platform, first introduced in 2021. Ukraine has relied on this Stugna-P since Russia first invaded in 2014, using it extensively against enemy armor. Since the full-scale invasion in 2022, the system has taken on an even greater role, knocking out Russian vehicles in urban combat and even downing a Ka-52 attack helicopter. Firing 130mm guided missiles, the Stugna-P can detect tanks up to 6.5 kilometers away, engaging targets at about 5 kilometers during the day and up to 3 kilometers at night. Now, with its newfound mobility on a Humvee platform, Ukraine's forces have yet another tool to keep Russian troops on edge. Ukraine's ability to field, modify, and integrate Western hardware with homegrown weapons continues to be a major factor in its defense strategy. With each new battlefield innovation, Ukrainian forces are proving that ingenuity can be just as lethal as firepower. Now, because Ukraine has over 5,000 Humvees, sustaining the Humvee fleet is a serious proposition. Repairs, reverse engineering, and local manufacturing are all important. So Ukraine's heavy use of the Humvee has necessitated an extensive repair and modification infrastructure. Field workshops handle minor repairs and parts replacements. Major overhaul centers operated by Ukraine's logistics forces rebuild heavily damaged vehicles. Then there's reverse engineering. When spare parts run low, Ukraine has built its own replacements, including ballistic glass, brake pads, and mechanical components, and armor plating for vehicle upgrades. In some cases, Ukrainian defense firms have improved upon the original designs, making them more suited for combat. From rocket artillery to air defense, from mine clearing to electronic warfare, Ukraine has turned the humble Humvee into a Swiss Army knife for modern war, far beyond what Humvee manufacturer AM General envisioned decades ago. It's the old proverb, waste not, want not. In other words, if you use a commodity or resource carefully and without extravagance, you will never be in need. Ukraine has plenty of flashy armored vehicles, some donated by allies like the Australian Bushmaster, some are homegrown like the Gyurza, but why waste the gift of 5,000 Humvees? As the war continues, Ukraine's Humvee-based innovations will likely influence modern military tactics for years to come. After all, what we're seeing in Ukraine against Russia is the future of modern warfare, and also the past. And somewhere in Russia, a commander is probably watching Ukrainian Humvees zip around the battlefield and wondering why their own forces are still stuck with rusting Soviet trucks. Anyways, I started this YouTube channel to talk about the Ukraine war, to talk about global security more broadly, including Taiwan and China, Eastern Europe, and US military technology. But with what the US is doing right now to our friends and allies in Canada, in Europe, it's getting harder to stay motivated when the United States is becoming the bad guy. I've never seen anything like this in my life, and I have veterans I served with in the military who are sick at their core that the country they fought for, the country their friends died for, is throwing away decades of post-World War II US leadership in favor of, I don't know. I don't know where the US is heading right now. Having said that, this channel may evolve. It may turn into focusing more on our European allies, more on the military technology innovations coming out of places like New Zealand and Australia and South Korea. But whatever happens, stick with me. Subscribing is the best way to allow me to keep making videos like this. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.